exceptional, no lesser than. Born to be exceptional, to make a better plan. Born to be exceptional, man, woman, and child. With Pauline Rose Moore, don't touch that dial. We were born to be exceptional, no lesser than.
Just tag, share. Hey everyone, we are here live, very excited, trying this new technology thing. It's very complex. She says difficult. I said complex. It's a little bit, crazy, and it's fun. We just need to become more accustomed to it. So if you are now joining us, we have a wonderful show. Today is about poetry. We are celebrating, I really just created my own, because y'all know that I'm the creative activator. So I said, you know what? I want Thursday to be about poetry, because have you ever been to Bus Boys and Poets, right?
I have.
And so they would have Thursday poetry at the Hyattsville location. Mm-hmm. And so I would always go on the second Thursday, because there was a girl, her name is Too Deep. Do you know who that is?
I do not.
Alright, so she is she's hilarious. She's hilarious.
She's the host of that?
Yes.
Okay.
So you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
she cuts a little something.
She does.
But
she's hilarious.
Funny, right? And so I would always go to support her, and she loves sign language too.
Oh, yeah.
So just shout out to her. But right now, I just want to just to share, who this beautiful woman of God is. She is my sister in Christ and sister HUSD, and that's Howard University School of Divinity sister. So she graduated the year before we did, and it's so cool, because it's like she came back to our graduates. Now, obviously, you came back for other reasons, but it was not. They came back for us. Right?
We did come back, though.
Yes, we came back. And so today, we're just gonna, she's gonna share her story, her creativity, and everything. Now this song says, I told the storm. That word is your situation, that trial that you're experiencing, okay?
You cause me no alarm, 'cause I'm safe in his arms. Even though your rain falls,
So I picked this song because I work with juveniles in the detention center, and today we had one student come back from court and it wasn't the best situation. And sometimes in the storm it's hard to fathom that the storm will pass. And so this song is just a reminder. So as we listen to it, I hope that everyone just reminds yourself that whatever your storm is going to eventually pass.
oh yes I did. Oh,
so beautiful. Amen. That song is just it's inspiring. It is so inspiring, and for the creative person, it's important that you realize that any time that you decide that you are going to step out on faith, that you are going to trust God, that you are going to obey and do whatever creative thing, guess what? It's going to happen. Distractions are going to happen. But you can speak life over your situation. You can trust that God is still running things, okay? God sees and knows what's going to happen already. And so you have to believe and speak life, not death, over your situation. And so I am inspired and encouraged. And I thank you for picking that song. It's a little bit more complex to interpret. And so, but I think it's very important for all of you who are watching, that sign, that sign choice. And for a song like that, you need to remember that it's about the concept. So it's about what's happening during your situation, what's happening during your trial, and whether it's drugs, whether it's addiction, whether it's just your bad attitude, your heart that doesn't want to forgive, right? All those things are your storms.
Absolutely.
Everything. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so I want to formally allow you to introduce yourself, and let me see who's there.
Gail says hi.
Oh.
Who else is there?
Roberto Curtin says very nice.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us. Please, I can't see who is there, so I need that if you are watching right now, I need you to go ahead and speak up. Type, hi, which state, city, country you are in, because I have a global mission. And so I want, all deaf, hard of hearing people around the globe to feel included in this show. And so, but yeah, so I want to allow you to formally introduce yourself. And, I know you go by Miss So Favored, which I like, because I that's, I don't know if you know this, but my ministry for church is actually called Favored Hands. Because, my hands, are favored, you know what I'm saying? And so she is a favorite poet. Like, I'm like, how does she do that? Like God, your mind is so powerful. This woman can just take some scriptures, some verses in the Bible, that half of y'all don't even understand. And she can just twist it into a beautiful message of poetry. And it's just remarkable. And she gonna do something for today. Yeah, she will be nervous.
I'm always nervous until I start. Then it just comes out.
See, same thing. But anytime I do this video thing, I'm like, oh Lord,
you're like,
Lord, please. Okay, but then it's like, okay, I feel a little bit natural. I'm still praying though. I'm still
definitely.
praying. She definitely, okay. But formally introduce yourself. Tell them who you are. And how did you begin this? How did you know? How did poetry find you?
So that's great. So I am Miss So Favored _ the poet. And so it's funny that both of our names have favor in it. For me personally, Miss So Favored came about because while we were at Howard Divinity, someone asked me to come and do spoken word. And at first, family, friends used to tell me, you have a knack for words, you have a gift and talent when it comes to words. But the first time I got up and did spoken word, it just kind of came naturally. And people were like, oh, you're good, you're great. And so the first time people say that, it starts to go to your head. And as I started to write more, I realized that without being in my word or without hearing from God, then I'm really not that great. So I gave myself the name Miss So Favored the poet because I know that I am able to do what I do because of the favor and grace of God. And if I ever forget that, then the name reminds me. So that's the name Miss So Favored the poet. And I got started at Howard Divinity when someone just asked me to come up and do poetry. I'm like, why are they randomly selecting me? But it was a challenge and I took it on, and from there I loved it. So,
That is so cool. I was the first time I shared my work. Was at Howard. Seriously. He said, do you want to write for the Weekly Word? And I'm like, well, I have this poetry that's been sitting here for years. And so I said, okay, well, fine. And then the first time I actually went on stage was with a group of our HUSD sisters and brothers. So I want to shout out to Marion and Aisha, who, we went out one Thursday, 2 bus boys, and actually I had everyone on stage that night. I put Aisha, I said, you gonna get up on the stage. And so we went out, and it was fun. But she's like, well, you gonna have to go too. And it was cool because it's not my comfort of that place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think that sometimes at HUSD, it is our comfort place because everyone is so supportive. So even if I was to mess up, they would encourage me anyway. But that was a great idea to go to Bus Boys, where it is some really dope, there are dope, amazing poets there. And so I encourage you, if you've never been and you really want to get into poetry, go to Bus Boys and Poets, and you'll find.
You see what she said? She's already dropping some knowledge for you all. That if you are interested in becoming a poet, then that's a great platform to begin. I believe that's where my other guest, he began there.
So before we get to the other guest, Mr. Orville the poet, I did poetry at Howard Divinity at my church, and then from there I just God opened up doors, and it was really unexpected to me, but I never was in a public realm, a secular realm, put it like that. And the first open mic that I went to was actually one that Orville the poet hosts, and so it was really funny. So shout out to him because he pulled me out there. They were encouraging. They have this awesome thing where they throw dollars. And if they throw $1, that means you're really good. And if you really want to challenge yourself to be against some awesome poets, because if you want to grow, you have to go up against people who are good. And it's not a competition, but a way to encourage you. I would definitely recommend finding the dopest poets in your area, which he would happen to be more for the DMV, and go there and let other poets just kind of pull what's already in you out of you.
Yes, it's called, what is it? Iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the only way to grow. Like everyone needs a mentor.
Right.
Everyone needs a coach. Everyone needs a cheerleader. And so I just, like she's an IG girl. and I'm not really an IG person. So I have to tell myself, Pauline, you need to go to IG. You know, like, it's more, my sister said it's more superficial because people post pictures and it's not really, in depth in your life. Whereas Facebook is more of a place where people share their business, their truth. Well, not all of their truth.
Like, I was going
let's be real. Some truth, because everything's so wonderful in their life. It's not. But and that's real.
And for me, I think I like Instagram or IG because on Facebook I will have to type, and most of the time if I post, it's really my poetry. But if I type it out or write it out, other people won't really interpret the lyrics like I want them to be interpreted. So on Instagram, I could just go up and post a video and you have it delivered to you exactly how I want it. So I like Instagram. It's quick, straight to the point, and it's how I want it.
Look at that. See, I haven't figured it out yet. I'm still learning the whole IG, the hashtag thing. I know hashtags, but IG, you can do a lot.
Yeah, you can narrow in on
you can
group
just,
of people,
right? It just narrow on.
That thing.
It's like 3,000 hashtags for poetry. I was like, this is too much. But it helps because people. Hey everyone, we're back again. Okay. So we had a little bit of, it's live, so anything can happen. And so we had an interruption. But we're going to continue. I should have put part 2 because, I can always go back and change that later. So share how, you shared about, how your first, when you were on stage, how did you feel?
I feel kind of liberated because from day one, any piece that I created, I really sat down and prayed about, and it really had either a significant meaning to myself or to someone else. So I felt liberated. Once I got up there, was doing my poem, I was fine. It was afterwards that, I kind of went back into my shell, and then it's like, people coming up to you like, oh, you did good, and I'm not an extrovert, so I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm like, am I awkward? This girl who could be so, on fire on stage, when she gets off, she's kind of nervous. So I'm still working on that part.
It's okay. What do they call? They call us the ambivert. So those are people who have, outgoing, gregarious personalities, and then we're also very introspective. And so that's who I am. I read a lot. I'm always reading a book, and I like to be alone.
Me too.
But he's more insert. Inside. He's more inside. He's even worse. So other people, when you compare us, are like, oh, you're so, friendly and outgoing. I'm like, I'm forced to. You are in a position. Someone has to. Right? Because if I just
someone has to. Luckily, I'm not that person. But
exactly.
I don't have to.
You don't have to. No. Because Barry is, hey, what's up, everybody?
Everybody's talking grandmother.
Yes. He talked that. You should do your thing. It's fine. I can just be me and feel, right. You can just chill.
Absolutely.
I do that.
Maybe that's the characteristic of a poet. Most poets are, deep in thought. We are just in our head sometimes until it gets on pen and paper. And that's another thing. Speaking of pen and paper, I do not write my poems down, something I'm working on, but it's actually therapeutic to me. So if I'm in the car, I could literally drive from here home, and say it takes me 30 minutes. By the time I get home, I have a poem memorized, packed down, and it's just been therapy. I love it. It's a challenge.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious? So she's like, okay. So I have a friend. Shout out to Darren Andre. He is amazing graphic artist, and he does all my work. And he uses on my shirt. I went back there. On the back it says, "But now I'm accepted." Yes, that's a little shameless to say. Deposit. But he has the same thing. He can just spit it out, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like he did my intro, and he did not write that thing down, nothing. Yeah. And I'm like, how do you, that is a gift.
Yeah, but write your stuff down. Always keep a record of your stuff. Because, videos may get deleted. You have to have it on some backup. So write your stuff down.
You have a backup.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can always go back. And then just everything is audio now, right? So you can always just transcribe,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But God said, write the vision. I'll record it now. We gotta write that.
See, I don't agree with that. You know why? Because deaf people, their first language is.
But you know what? Deaf people, and let's go back. So the Waka Flocka video, I think you shared it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flocka, yeah. He's an artist.
So that is an art in itself. So I think with those people, God really gives them and deposited something special into them to where they're able to interpret it and leave a legacy for people who fit that population. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I think for myself, I just have to write it down. And I say that just because one time I went up, and I never forget my poems, and this one time when I should have maybe had it in my phone, I forgot. So that's what I'm saying. For me personally, I have to write it out. It has to be a time where, I want my kids to be able to see my work, see what I was feeling at the time, and maybe, the videos won't be as clear then, but reading will always be the same, and they'll be able to read the works.
That's beautiful. I mean, I'm with you, girl. I still say video live, and she doesn't even know this, but I believe that writing and expressing everything. Come on in, my brother. Have a seat right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's us. So we have our other pole who arrive. You can just chill with us, or you can wait outside. Up to you.
No, I'm good.
Okay, he's good. So I am, so I believe that is so funny because I like that you to write it down, but people are so visual.
Yes.
Like people want to see you. They're visual. They need to see your face,
Right.
you know?
And you know what? And I think that's what helps me to memorize it too, because certain words I'll have like a certain hand motion that goes with the word. So then I'm like, oh yeah, it's coming back to me now. So maybe we're on the same page.
Seriously.
When I memorize it.
That's what happens, for deaf people. It's like it's coming from any movement is that's the creativity we're given.
Right.
And you're supposed to use it. You're not supposed to stand still and worship. I don't care what people say. Okay, you're supposed to move because you remember it.
Yeah.
You remember that worshiping moment. You know. What's up? Oh, you want okay? Go ahead. So, my husband, he's doing the most right now. He's doing a lot right now. I don't get involved in people's marriage. This woman of God is going to share her art. All right, she's going to share her poetry, which is going to encourage and uplift someone who needs this right now. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, God, really? But it's okay. I gotta tell myself that it's okay. So sister, if you guys are even your first time watching, you don't know who I am. I am Pauline Rose Moore, the Creative Activator. This show is about nurturing the next generation's creativity, and it is on purpose. So you were created in the image of the Creator, right? Who created what? The heavens, the earth, and everything in between, right? So you too are a creator. That's it. Period. That. So anyone who says, "Oh, I'm not creative," that's a lie. Don't believe the lies. And so with poetry, words are so powerful, right? Their images are everywhere. You driving in your car and you see these billboards, right, posted. Everywhere you go, there are words. And so we're going to speak life over this situation, and we're going to speak to the hearts of men and women around the world, right? So go ahead, my sister.
So the poem I'm going to share is actually, and it's so funny that you said, talked about being creative and speaking to this generation. I am a teacher at Cheltenham, which is the all-boys youth detention center. And one time I had one of my boys ask me, "Miss Watkins, why do you keep wasting your time with us? Like, to be for real, we're just a lost generation." And I think when he said that, for him it was just words and he was trying to be funny to get the attention of his classmates. But to me it really sank in because the things we speak of are really the things that resonate on our heart. So even though he may have thought he was just playing, it's still something that is innate within him. So I created this poem to speak to them. So I'm going to share it with you guys and I hope you enjoy it.
Now understand, I'm not going to interpret her art because I don't want to mess it up. So, because I haven't heard it. But if you did you type this one? Okay, so I need, someone to transcribe. I have other interpreters and friends who are watching this. So I need you guys to transcribe this, okay? And put down the words because I want deaf people and hard hearing people to be able to hear the words she's expressing, okay?
But if you give me a day or two,
okay. She's I give her one day. Wow, really? You go back, girl? Yes. Okay, she's gonna go back and she's going to, 1 day, 2 days. Don't do it up there. Don't press it to next year. All right. So go ahead, my sister.
So, dear lost generation, I wish that you can see the psychological confinement that society so easily placed you in. I wish you could see your life scratch out your name because they so easily place $1 at the end. You see, Black lives matter, but only when the Black lives that matter stand up and say, matter of fact, my life is worth more than just some currency. If God created purpose in my life, then obviously He created purpose in me. Stop making the system work while a lot of people are steady dying. You said you hustling and eating, get you enslaved and hungry, but buying. And to a perpetuated system that never wanted to educate you, so I'll hide your truth, put you in communities with cool liquor stores and underfunded schools, and like Alpha 5, destroy this generation. Incarceration is our dues. That's why, as an educator, I could tell you that investing in our future means investing in our youth, And if you think that investing is too much, think back to when you were young and if somebody would have invested into you. See, I'm a product of generosity. I had teachers and community partners point to me and say, now go out and be a prodigy. Go out there and farm a seed. Because if we don't build libraries, they'll build warehouses to house our seeds. Because idle times create idle minds that get to wondering. A library can have me thinking, how would I outer space instead of the streets that I can be wandering? So dear lost generation, if a lifetime of servanthood and dedication can produce that, then consider this my pledge because it's an honor for me to give that. Sincerely, a former product of generosity.
Woo! Yeah, see, we don't give applause when, people are, we gotta get the snaps. But for deaf people, they do give the applause because, they can't hear the snaps. But, that was beautiful. And I appreciate you writing to the next generation because everyone knows that that's where my heart is. My heart is with those. I had the beautiful honor of sitting in a class, my ethics and politics class with Dr. Truier was at the DC prison. And so there was 15 students from the outside, 15 students from the inside. That's how it began. And then later the numbers kind of like shrunk from the inside. But it was one of the best experiences. It was one of the best, and it was one of the most not comfortable because it forced me to have to pay attention to my own story. You know what I mean? And so, if anyone knows, like if you don't know who I am, my testimony, my mother was in prison, and I remember her letters, right? And so every day, like it's a spirit that's up in the prison. So let's be real, y'all. There's a lot. There's a spirit.
That is true.
Okay, and so every day, like every week, the Wednesday I would get a headache. I would get sick. I would even sometimes throw up because those migraines are serious. And then before I would enter into the prison, I would just be sitting in my car like I don't want to go in there, right? But it ended up being one of those experiences that spoke to that generation. Like what they are experiencing now, there's a lot of young people there. Let's just be real. They weren't all old. You know what I mean? 19, 20, talking about like that. But this art is something that I wish, like I met some of the most creative people. It's crazy. It's like, the most creative, talented brothers up in there. And I wish to God, like that's one of my things is I want to be able to bring that creativity into that space, like that space. And so with you have the opportunity. You could be giving this back to those young men. You know what I'm saying?
I do. They push me. English classes are the dopest. We put on instrumentals all the time, and we just freestyle. And they're so creative. But people always say the most potential is always in the gravesite and in the jail. So, having potential is good, but to get them to utilize it when they get out. And speaking about jails, it's really sad because even in the facility where I work, the youth are from the ages of 12 to 18. And when I first got in there, they said, so-and-so is graduating. And I'm hype. I'm like, we need to have a party, a celebration. Somebody just graduated. But graduation really means graduated from the juvenile detention center to the jail or prison system. And so they just kind of take these words of positivity and make them negative. And so we wonder why we have a generation who just seems so hopeless, and we label them hopeless, Just pretty sad. But shout out to all my young men who left the facility and who are doing great because we have a few, and I don't want you to think that I don't see you. I do, and I'm always supporting you, so just know that.
That is, wow. That is. So I can say a lot because one of the things about kids who are in foster care, right? Because I'm sure you meet them a lot. They're the most vulnerable. Yeah. When it comes to homelessness, when it comes to recidivism, that means going back and forth to the prison. When it comes to death, when it comes to human trafficking, right? Foster youth are the most vulnerable, and so what you're doing, you are doing the work. You are the answer. you know, and I appreciate you. So I appreciate me.
I hope people connect with you with the foster youth thing, because a lot of people don't realize that even in the detention facility, it's not just kids who committed crime. At least 30% of them are foster youth who have to come there because the foster system is overcrowded. So then they're treated just the same as the inmates or just the same as the other youth. They can't go to a restaurant when they want. They, can't be commissary when they want. They're treated just like all the other students. Unless you go into their files, you would never know that they're really just foster youth who their parents haven't come and claimed and they weren't adopted out yet. So those are the heartbreaking ones. Well, all of them are, but especially those because then they almost have to pretend they're this criminal or pretend they have this hard story to fit in, when really they're just waiting just like us every day. Someone's going to pick me up, so.
They're waiting for a home.
Waiting for a home, and people, we just don't take the time to even really dig into it if it's not our own story.
Man, that's... Okay, so we have some work to do. My heart's over here. I'm like, oh, Lord, keep it together. Yeah, so we have a lot of work to do, guys, and that was beautiful. Like, see, because I don't say anything a lot of the time because, it's IG, Facebook, it's a full-time job. So I don't always have the honor, but I have in my mind, have on a paper, I'm going to ask these people. And I'm like, okay, when I'm going to have time to do that, So now that school is finished, I'm like, okay, now I can go back to the drawing board and just share this platform with people. Not even a platform. I really call this my altar. Like we all have, because pastors, you're not just in the church. You have pastors who are on the streets, pastors who are using media to preach and to pray for people. Like every single time I look, I see people praying. Like seriously, your pastor Jazz, she is woo. I mean, I watch her videos, her praying. She be praying. She be interceding. She be interceding for everyone. And so I'm always inspired. And so this place has become a space where I can, preach and teach those who are deaf and hard of hearing, who maybe they don't get the word because there are like 70 million deaf people around the world, and less than 2% know Jesus, have a relationship with Jesus. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So this video, when it's shared, share this, it can spread more light. And we're going to continue that conversation, my brother, about the whole light and darkness, because people don't realize how powerful what he just said was. And I'm not going to repeat it. I'm allowing him to do it himself. But it's important. So I have another piece, which I always, I'm going to set you up right now. And it's for you to share one thing that maybe we're not so successful at, because I have what I call the failure-free zone. And it's important because it's now your opportunity to be vulnerable, to share your truth. That, hey, everything was not always perfect. You see what I'm saying? Because when you see people who are successful, they're doing their thing, and you see Facebook, all this positive, everything in their life is not always so great, okay? And so I want you to share, that time when, hey, I did not succeed, but you know what? You still thriving. You know what I'm saying? You continue. You did not just say, I give up. Right. So to encourage, because this is all about activating. Right. I want people that when they watch this to feel like, yo, I'm ready. I'm going to move on. Right. Because I get the feedback. People are like, that girl, whoever that was, they really inspired me. And so now I have, quit my job. I tell you that. If the Holy Spirit says that, fine. Yeah. Pauline said, quit my job. No, everyone's process is not the same. Okay? But I enjoy those stories because there are people who say, yeah, Pauline, I quit my job and now I'm doing whatever I'm doing full time. What's up, Barry? Oh, Barry, what's up? Okay, you say that for me.
Hey, Barry. They're going to keep picking on you. All right.
That's her boo. Okay. So please share.
All right. So I'm going to speak to another side, because I think when we hear people who fail and probably get discouraged, we think of people who themselves fail and get discouraged. But in society today, people have been beat down so many times or have experienced being backstabbed and betrayed so many times that we as ourselves harden ourselves. So for me, I think even growing up, my personality for myself was always made strong. If I feel I already had a plan A, plan B, plan C, I knew how to maneuver life to kind of make it work for me. But my issue was when I failed and let other people down. So I'm still working on that because, you know, I'm used to being the supportive one for family, friends, for those around me. But when I let other people down, it's kind of hard to deal with. So recently, in the facility where I work, I tried to create a GED program where the kids were transitioning to college and getting a job. So I have one young man in particular, and he worked months and months to get his GED. And it really, at that point, showed me the system that we were facing in its entirety. So this young man failed a GED. He would ask teachers for help, and they were like, we can't tutor kids one-on-one. And then we would look and see his Caucasian counterpart getting tutored one-on-one. It was like literally and blatantly in our face, the construction of racism that was built into this place. And so he failed a test by 1 point, and they made him start the process all over. Now, mind you, for a GED test, you have 4 tests to take. You need 145 on each in order to pass. So he passed all 3, got to the 4th one, which was math, and got 144. And they made him start the whole process over. Never been heard in history. Usually you just take the one you fail. So to see him cry instantly started making me cry. Eventually he got his GED, so we're like off to college. I called every college in this city. I called Montgomery, PG, Nova. I was checking for everywhere. I could not get this kid one online class so he could further his education. So for almost a year now, this kid has had his GED sitting in high school classes, just doing the work. One of the most respectful young men that you would ever run across. And it just saddens me because now he leaves, and instead of having a valuable trade or furthering his education, he just got a GED in the extra year of high school. He told me right before he left, maybe this is just karma, Miss Watkins, because I've done so many bad things. And so that really hurt me because for myself, I can maneuver around things. If I don't get the class, I'll find another one, but to not be able to help a youth who really is innocent relying on me just killed me. So before I start crying, that's the story.
Wow. So I don't know how many of you guys know, but they have an organization, and they're called Just Leadership USA, and it's an Just Leadership USA, and they are amazing because it's run by all formerly incarcerated people. Mm-hmm. So Dr. Trulier is on that, you know. He helped us out. Yeah, I know, right? It's good when you have a professor who has the band around his ankle. He can tell you his number real quick. And so I want to shout him out, and Bishop Ferguson, who is another just inspiring person who's he's been helping me right now with some things. But I'm going to tell you this because they have resources available.
So they do, but state of Maryland in this facility. So once they get out, Dr. Trulier, and shout him out because he was one who really extended his hand. They were able to get help. But until we kind of infiltrate this juvenile justice system, unfortunately, I was at a standstill. And I realized the reason why. It's all very systematic. If the children get their GEDs at our facility, which is a detention facility, then what are they going to do when they get to these placements? Then they have 6 to 12 months of nothing, or the state will have to pay for college classes. So they really don't even want them to get their GED there. So I was already pushing the bar.
Yeah, you was raising that bar.
I was jumping over that.
You was trying. She said, "Oh, what? Did you just say no? Oh, that's fuel. That's energy for me. That's like, oh, and you're right. Maryland has a lot of work to do. So that's good. We're gonna talk about that because it's one of the things. I'm actually going to New York, next month. I was invited by a young woman. Her name is in Brooklyn. She works at a detention facility. She wants me to go and read my book. So I'm going to come and read to your kids. Yes, that would be awesome. If I were to connect you with her, because I'm sure that there are some ways and things that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty dope. Like, I think you guys make a really good connection, and maybe she knows some things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she found me on Facebook, so shout her out. Facebook is incredible. Like, people in the inbox, like, hey, what's up? You know, I got this opportunity. And I like people who share information. So continue to share and tag and give light. But if I wanted to connect with you, how do I do that?
So you can connect with me on Instagram at @MissSoFavored_the_poet. Right now, one social media is good enough for me, so connect with me on Instagram. Once I get on the level of Mr. Orator, I get multiple platforms. So right now,
I need to see you coming.
I actually shut it down before you got the vibe. I told you.
Nah, that's a playful show.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you yours was the first open mic I went to, and it really did push me. So, tell you personally.
I remember.
Yes.
See that? It's small. This poetry community is very, very little. Okay? But we are at the close, and this was totally dope. I'm gonna have my husband, add all of these together. Yes, he's gonna be like, what? He's gonna link them all together. So it'll be one video that you can have. So this segment right here, up next I have the one and only Oral, the poet. One of the most profound, awesome things that he always says is poetry found me. And so, and then he has this other thing about cancer. And y'all know my story with this cancer thing, and I'll allow him to share that. But it's pretty dope because he is using his platform not only for I'm doing poetry, blah, but it's about that social, just like you, social change, right? For justice, for health, to bring awareness, right? And so,
and I definitely follow him. I don't follow any poets who I don't see living that lifestyle. So if I follow people, it's follow me.
Okay, so y'all ready for him? Y'all ready for him? Because he's over sitting over and his little probably shy.
So it's not how much you have, it's what you do with what you have. And we all have different gifts. Some money, some love, some patience, some the ability to touch people. But we all have it. Use it. Share it. That's what counts.
And God placed the best things in life on the other side of terror. On the other side of your maximum fear are all of the best things in life.
Thanks to my maker, no matter what the problem, we gon' make it. Cause he made us. We were born to be exceptional, no lesser than. Born to be exceptional, to make a better plan. Born to be exceptional, man, woman, and child. With Pauline Rose Moore, don't touch that dial. We were born to be exceptional, no lesser than. Born to be exceptional, to make a better plan.
I was very intentional with what I wore here today too. I practice cooperative economics. So this hat is from my boy Creative Activator, my brother Peace King. Boat Shop is I'm a proud brand ambassador for Boat Shop. Stands for Blood of Slaves, Heart of Kings. And shout out to Vic, and I appreciate you, bro. So
I'm with you.
very socially.
He's trying to support. Are they all black?
All black.
Support black business. Okay, do you see that? See, from my shirt, I was neglected, and then on the back it says, but now I'm accepted, right? And this is from my boy, Darren Andre. And he is, so if you want any graphic, t-shirts, whatever, design, visit amdbranding.com. And then, of course, y'all know I got a book. So support your sister. It's the story to inspire and to encourage you. All right? It's all about the inspiration. All right. So I am Pauline, the Creative Activator. And this show is all about nurturing the next generation's creativity. And what we do here is we empower and we equip all of our listeners to be exceptional. Whether you are 2 years old or 92 years old, you can create on purpose every day because that means life.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So if you're not creating every day, then that means you're not living. Period. Got it. Period.
I can't do that.
Well, that's dope. Okay, so this is our guest today. His name is Orville Walker, but he goes by Orville the Poet.
Yep,
Right?
that's me. You put my whole government out there. I'm just gonna do that though. So,
Well, you know what?
we're in the trust tree now.
We are in the trust
Okay.
tree, okay? And so we want people out there, they want to find you because there are a lot of opportunities available where you're not even just a poet, okay? There may be other things and that's one thing, we didn't talk about that earlier, but that's your brand. You are a poet. But I'm sure you have other creative things.
Yeah, poetry is an umbrella, which a lot of things are under.
Everything else is under. And so when those people want to contact you, how are they going to contact you? They come into the brand or they come into the man?
Preferably the brand, because I am a business, and I don't have the luxury of disassociating my name from my business. My name and my business are synonymous. So if you're coming through business for business, I prefer you go the business route, because unfortunately, being an artist, there's a lot of people that, oh man, yeah, I know you, man, so you could just, do it for free, or, and I do plenty of free events. I don't want people to get the wrong idea, but this is how I eat. So, we gotta make sure things are done in a proper manner.
That's what's up.
This is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. I didn't know you knew how to sign until I was sitting there. I was like, wow, how do you remember that and remember what to do and still have questions to ask? You're multi-talented.
Mm-hmm. It's called God.
And then you got to pop right back in. Let's go. Let's go.
I know I answered that. You know what? It's funny because I'm being honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
When I started this show a year ago, I didn't know I could do it. Does that make sense?
So you weren't doing that?
No, I was signing and talking at the same time, but it's hard. Like, it's not easy. Like, the language, they're two separate languages, right?
Yeah.
You have English, you have ASL. They don't have the same, grammatical structure. Like, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Holy Spirit instructed me and said, no, you need to do this because there's an audience out there who need both. Okay, there are some people who don't know ASL, but they understand, okay, well, even English, especially because this is a global ministry, right? There are a lot of people who don't, who use sign language, but representative for their country. You understand? So this is actually what I call a multifunctional show because people are reading my lips and they're learning English. They're watching the signs. Sometimes the language itself is, it's not always, it's not perfect. Okay, I'll just say that. It's not always perfect because one language is always going to get they're not going to be equivalent, right? And so my goal is for the show is to actually have an ASL interpreter, here live, but you got to pay people, what you just said a minute ago.
Yeah.
People, we're interpreters, we're professionals.
Yeah.
This is what I do. This is my bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be paid. We do a lot of volunteer work, yes, but I respect and I honor us, and I've been interpreting for 12 and a half years. And so you're right, one young woman, she said, Pauline, she's a coda, and that means she's a child of a deaf adult. And so I want to shout out to Priscilla, and she's an interpreter. She said, you can sign and talk at the same time. That's crazy. I said, I know, but I didn't know I could. I didn't have permission, like you need permission, right? And I didn't know I had the skill until I did it. Like, this show was like you need to do this, and I waited 3 years to finally, like, okay, obey. What you said before about obey. And then Holy Spirit's like, okay, now I'm going to bless you. So now you can sign, talk, quote information, keep doing this. Yes, multitask like a mother.
So staying in that same vein, right? I didn't know I could speak in front of people until, like, I saw someone else do it, and I just fell in love with it. And I was like, yo, that's what I want to do. But I was super scared of speaking in front of people. Like, I was like making jokes like, oh, he's shy. Now like I'm real live, I'm shy. But when I get the mic, I know what I'm here to do, and I know what I'm capable of doing, and that's what I'm trying to do. But you know, I'm pretty reserved. And when I first started, I remember the first time I spit poetry, it was in front of church, and like I spit my poem, it was like yeah, and like I ran outside and threw up. It was like oh my gosh. But I knew I wanted to do this, so I knew I had to get over it, but I didn't know how. And I was like, man, I love it, and I prayed, and you know, before I knew it, I'd be doing a poem and get off and have conversation, and oh man, I didn't throw up this time. Or the next time, like, oh man, I'm not shaking. Or oh man, I have clear thoughts. You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh my God. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I'm always nervous every single time. I think if you're not nervous, like, that's when you need to check yourself. Like, yeah, I got this. That's when you're going to forget a whole poem or something. You know what I mean? But, yeah, so that led me to share that. Because you shared that. That's dope.
See, that genuine, that's the real truth. Like I tell people, it's not easy, but with God, all things are possible, right?
Amen.
And so we are all equipped. We all have skills and abilities that are inside of us, and we don't even know that they're there. You know, and I'm more excited because, like you, like I've been journaling for years, right? Never should because my thoughts have always been very, very private. And then sometimes you write things down and you don't think that other people can understand it, right? And then because I've always been a weird person. You know, I'm a little bit of a nerd. I like to read. I'm very type A, right? So, and I'm shy just like you, but I am very more open now because you have things that happen in your life, and when the Holy Spirit says, now I need you to submit to me what you think you need to do and do what I need you to do. And that requires you to be more vulnerable, right? Mm-hmm. Because, and one of the reasons, and I'll share this, one of the reasons why I wanted to interview you was really because your story is phenomenal, right? Like, I love, like, what you talked about, what happened when your mother passed away, mm-hmm. and how your family just came together. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the same thing that happened with me when I was diagnosed with leukemia. And that was only last year. So just imagine, your story actually helped me through my own, like, wow, there has to be something. There has to be a reason. There has to be something. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if you never shared that information, and guess what? I would have missed that. I would have missed that opportunity to say, you know what? You know, maybe sunk into a really, really bad depression and never survived that. You see what I'm saying? But when I saw the beauty of, wow, what if I shared my story? You know, what if I, you know, treated it as a testimony rather than, you know, just a death story? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's one of the reasons. Plus, I just like his poetry, like real talk. You know, I remember the first time I saw you at Bus Boys. I didn't know you. I was like, oh, I'm like Roland, you know. I'm like, Roland's brother can do poetry because it's the opposite. You see
so, but watch this though. A lot of people don't know Roland is a wordsmith. Roland has bars. Roland was writing before I was. Roland had stuff published when he was in elementary school. Won awards. So.
But you see what I'm saying about the creativity?
Yeah, he's got some stuff put it too.
Did you see what I'm saying? But that's my point. Yeah. If you don't use it, what happens?
You lose it.
You lose it. And then not even that, there are people who are waiting for you to do what you do because that was healing for me. You see what I'm saying?
Everyone's been given a gift, and the more you give of your gift, the more you be given to give, and so forth and so on. So it's imperative for everyone to use their gift because, all right, I had the opportunity. Okay, boom, Karega Bailey, my brother, man, I love this dude.
What's that? How you call me?
Karega Bailey, Karega Bailey, Bailey. Karega Bailey, just an awesome artist. Definitely go look him up. He's Googleable. So he really, it's my word. Google. He's Googleable. So he just is a fervent sharer. His art is no different on stage than off stage. And when I met him, he just was really like, you gotta, share, man, share more, and share deeper, and I did that. So he gave me, he was the dean of students at Maya Angelou Public Charter, and he got me a job teaching a poetry enrichment class to kids. Now, in that class, it pushed me to really, like, he knew I was passionate about it and passionate about the youth, but in this setting, it pushed me to go deeper. You know what I mean? It pushed me to connect with these kids, to really share a piece of myself with these kids. And to see them go from, I'm just in here for snacks, to like writing and memorizing and putting on a whole show for their peers was awesome. And I completely forgot my point of that story, but I shared it, and it was a good one. That happens sometimes, man.
No,
I feel like I'm in the basement chilling. Like, you know what I mean? We're drinking Gatorades, we're sharing stories.
You know what's so funny is I have a few groups, and they say the same thing. They say, Paul, when I watch your videos, I just feel like I'm just so comfortable. I feel like I can just share anything. I'm like, yeah, that's how it should be. It should take the ease off of it, because when you think, like, oh my God, no. And I told her, like, was it you? Was it you? Like, okay, what kind of questions? No, someone just did that to me. They sent me a whole like bio, and I'm like, look, bruh, no. We're not doing that. This is authentic, because I can't have you in this space if you can't be real. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you pre-programmed and to have your thoughts. I'll give you some basis, but I don't want you to come up here and give me a script. Like, that is so bad.
Yeah.
I'm one person who did that. And I was grieving through the full show, because
like, this sounds
like, this is very, like, did you practice this before you arrived? And I was like, no, Pauline, no, we're not gonna do that, because then I don't want to post a show after that. You can post it, or you can just be like, I'm out of here. And so I posted the one show, and I'll never ever do it again. Yeah, I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
But you have an amazing story, and so I want to give you an opportunity to share. I mean, how did poetry find you? How did you know that, this is my thing?
So, like the hashtag you referenced earlier, it was poetry found me, then I found me. So, when I was younger, like I said, I've always been really shy, and poetry found me at a time when I was going through a difficult time. My mom and my dad had just separated, and I just started high school. So, high school, everybody got the fresh fit on, and, you know what I mean, people trying out for basketball teams and all of this stuff like that, and my dad wasn't there, you know what I mean? So it really it messed me up a little bit, you know what I mean? And so also as the oldest brother, I'm trying to look out for my younger brothers as well. So poetry is how I cope with that. So I would always write in my room and just, kind of share stuff to myself. But let me backtrack. And before that, when I was right before I started high school, I was like 14, and my grand aunt was retiring, and they were having like this big family function, and everybody was like, everybody getting together. People came from near and far. My mom looked at me, and my brother was like, you guys should do something for him. I was like, what? We ain't finna sing. She was like, I don't know, write a poem. I was like, all right. Took a piece of paper with me, wrote on it front and back. It was like a half hour, maybe 25-minute car ride. Got there, read it, presented it. Everybody was clapping. Went to my mom and was like, when did you write that? And by the way, he reads so well. And my mom would sit there with a stuck face like, he wrote that in the car. And so that was my first instance with poetry. I always loved poetry. I always read it. And my mom would always make me do book reports. So my mom was a big fan of the old Ben Carson. The old Ben Carson. And so I got disclaimer.
Okay, so I'm laughing over here.
So
I'm laughing because you know what? Yes, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, my gifted hand.
Yeah, that's my book.
What?
He gave me that book when I was in church.
Yeah, he spoke at my mom's graduation at Sligo SDA. So anyway, so she's a big fan of Ben Carson. Ben Carson's mom made him do a lot of book reports and things of that nature. We had to do a lot of book reports. So that's how my vocabulary grew as a kid. So I actually won like a county spelling bee in elementary school. And so now moving on into high school, I graduate high school, and all throughout high school I'm getting joned on. Oh, you soft, you write poetry, you write in the journal. Fast forward, some same people that joned on me and all that, they be at shows, they're in the crowd. You know what I mean? So I say poetry found me, then I found me, because while I was being quiet, God was working on my character. So it wasn't that I didn't have anything to say. He was making sure when the time was right that I presented it exactly how it needed to be presented. So poetry found me, then I found me, because this is something I can call my own. This is my voice. This is my art, and I wouldn't change it for anyone, man. Like I love it. I wake up with it. I go to sleep with it. I'm at work with it. I'm talking to myself. People like, oh no, he's just practicing a poem. People like, is he crazy? New people like, is he talking to himself? Like, nah, practicing a poem, cuz you want to hear it? All right, you get a snippet though. You gotta come to the show. Get a snippet, but so that was how I started poetry. And my mom always was in my corner. She was like, all right, okay. But I will say this: so I went to school. I was at PG College, and a lot of people don't know this. This is like a lot of people don't know this. So I went to PG College right after high school. Yeah, I went up to PG College after high school, and I was very close to getting my associate's degree to transfer over to. I ran out of storage. It's all good. So to transfer to go to Maryland or Howard. I was in class. I think it was in a math class, like a calculus class or something. And I just remember sitting there like Z, X, Y, 1, 2, 3. And I'm not knocking school at all, I'm just sharing my personal story. And I'm like, we're not gonna use this. Orville, you know what you want to do. Get busy doing it. As loud as I'm talking right now, that's what it said in my head. And I was like, I raised my hand and asked the teacher, I was like, excuse me, what can we use this in every day? And he kind of stuttered like, what? And I said, never mind, excuse me. And I got my books in my book bag, and I never sat back down in this school. And I got busy doing what I told my mom, and she was like, what? You want to do what? You want to be a poet? You want to be a writer? Okay, well, you're going to have to start treating that like your job. You know what I mean? And if you're at work 8 hours, then you need to be donating at least half that time into this craft. So I got busy. I was at everybody's open mic. This is not an open mic I wasn't at. And even if you didn't let me spit that time, I was coming back next week or next month or next year, because I wanted to be heard, and I knew the type of dedication it was going to take to make this dream in my head come to fruition. So for a straight year, Monday through Friday, every day after work, a straight year, I was at somebody's open mic. It didn't matter if it was in Virginia or if it's in DC, all across the DMV. And then when we got holidays off, I was in New York, or I was in Philly. I was at something every single day. And at work, I'll be practicing it while I'm working. When I'm hooping, I'm working out. I'm practicing my poems while I'm hooping and working out. And I took it very, very seriously. And then I was on U Street at Indulge, and my big bro, Just Me, who, matter of fact, whose show I'm going to head to after this, saw me at Indulge, which is now Amsterdam. Oh, Just Me shows at Nipsey's in Upper Marlboro. It's every second Thursday of the month. And it's free, by the way. Super dope event. So he saw me there and was like, bruh, man, I want to feature you. And I was like, feature me? What's that? He was like, that's where it's just you. You're the featured guest for 30 minutes. And I was like, what? Bro, I only know like 2 poems by heart. He was like, well, you know, it's in 3 weeks. You know, rise to the occasion. Like, it's in 3 weeks. You got plenty of time. And I was like, what? 30 minutes? You know how long 30 minutes is, bro? And he was like, yeah. He's like, you got it though, man. And he shook my hand firm and looked at me in my face. I'll never forget that night. Looked me in my face and was like, I'll see you there. I believe in you. It's my big bro to this day. I featured there. It was an awesome time, standing ovation. And he taught me a lot of the do's and don'ts, how to really hustle for this. Because at the time, he's still a full-time artist, but he also has a 9-to-5 as well. But he just had poetry, and that's how he was, you know, paying bills. And he wasn't no starving artist. He always said, yo, that's not in your vocabulary. Starving artist, that's not in your vocabulary. You're not going to be starving. And if you always implement these things, you won't starve. You know what I mean? You always get it. So shout out to Just Me, big bro. And from there, my hunger just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. I went to every Busboys and Poets and was spitting at open mics. To one day, now my coworker, listen to this, and this is some real rap. So when I first started going to Busboys, it was only one. It was on 14th and V, right? 14th and V Busboys and Poets had a host, and we would get there, and the list would always be full. So one day, I spit, and I saw the host kind of turn while I spit, like that was fire. And I was like, yeah, it is fire, and I'm gonna be back. And so from there, went to the one in Virginia. Now, E-Baby was hosting the one in Virginia. E-Baby's, I'm the first spotlight artist ever at Busboys and Poets. E-Baby came up with the idea, let's have spotlight artists, like artists on the verge of being ready to feature. He spotlighted me. I think maybe a few months later, I got featured at the Busboys and Poets, to featuring at all the Busboys and Poets, to now being a host at Busboys and Poets. You know what I mean? So I said all that to say, like, you gotta really want it, because you're not always gonna get claps and snaps. You're not always gonna get, man, that was dope. I've been booed. I've had bottles thrown in my head. No, that's it, sir, your time's done. Get out. You know what I mean? But I know this is what I'm here to do. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. I remember praying a prayer one night, like, yo, God, all my core friends know what they want to do and what they want to be. One friend wanted to be an architect. He's an architect to this day. One friend wanted to be a firefighter. He's a firefighter now. One wanted to DJ music all across the globe. He's doing that right now. And it forced me to be like, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? What is it that I'm here to do, God? And I promise if you show me it, I'll go 110% at it. That was on Sunday night. Every morning at 3:33 for the rest of that week, I woke up with lyrics on my mind. I was like, all right, God, I got you. Bam. And I kept a pen and pad right by my bed. And I was like, okay, cool. This is what I'm here to do. And I never look back. I love it. I love it. And you could tell people that I love it. You know what I mean? When you hear Karika, you know he loves it. He's about what he's saying. When you hear Just Me, you know he's about what he's saying. You know, when I hear the Luckies or the Rebecca Dupas or the Rasheed Copelands or the She's So Favorite, you know what I mean? I just know that they are about what they're talking about. And that's the artists that really gravitate towards me. And to be such a fan of this art form and not respect it, I'd be doing myself and the culture a disservice. So first, before I had anything to say and would share, you know, I would make sure that this is exactly what I want to say. This is what I want to be heard. I always, you know, tell myself before I get on stage, make sure you have something to say worth listening to. Would you listen to you? And if not, then ball it up and you need to start again. You know what I mean? So I love this stuff. I love it. That's why, like, when I be hosting at open mics and then I hear a poem, like, ooh! And I got to take a minute because I'm a fan first. You know what I mean? And there's so many talented people just in DC or the DMV. You know what I mean? I've been privileged to be in the position to have several platforms to put those people in positions to make money and, you know, gain visibility with their art. I host another event. So I host at Busboys and Poets Brookline location every second Monday of the month over by Catholic University. I also host an open mic every first Wednesday of the month called Pure Poetry DC. We celebrated 5 years in June. And when I started that event, I was like, God, if we could just get to 6 months. 6 months would be super dope because I was at 2 other places before that, which I won't name, that really did me dirty. Like, cut the mic off in the middle of the show. Or like, nah, we ain't gonna do this no more, it's not making bread. You know what I mean? So, shout out to Pure Lounge for really sticking with me. Appreciate it. And so, yeah, every first Wednesday of the month, Pure Poetry DC and Pure Lounge. We have a featured artist every month. And the energy is very electric. It's a vibe. I love reggae music. So, you know, if you like that, there's definitely a lot of that. Neo soul, jazz, all that good stuff. So, yeah, man, I've done a lot. And I'm just happy to be here with Pauline. You know what I mean? She's signing and talking and smiling and flashing. And I gotta learn how to say hi or something. But I gotta learn a word before I leave.
I'm gonna teach you something.
Yeah, because you're just going.
Because it's important. Like, people need to hear what you're saying. And I think, and I know, because you don't know this, but we have some dope deaf poets.
Oh, I know.
Like, real talk. One of my girls, shout out to my sister, Abby. She's a published poet. And this girl is so dope. She's, like, that's my sister right there. And so I would bring her, I would actually go with her to interpret her poems, nice. You know, to hearing events. But then, you know, we had to stop because, you know, schools, right? And graduate.
Yeah,
so, yeah. So, for everyone who's received their degree, congratulations. Yeah, they arrived. Mine hasn't come yet. I'm like, where's mine? Where's mine, God? So I'm hoping you send it to the wrong, you know, address. So I'm just pray to Jesus. Right. But yeah, so we have some amazing, dope poets, and one of the things that we have, you know, we have the ASL poetry.
Yep.
And so my thing has always been, and I didn't even know I had that, where you can express a song or something, you know, with your hands. And so God has truly anointed me that way. And I thank God when people are like, oh, you can, I'm not a singer. But I know when I put my hands up, people are going to be inspired, right? They're going to be like, oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the same, like, no, I'm serious.
Because I enjoy it too.
We enjoy it. Yeah. See, so when I sign music, it's like, man, I feel connected to that. And people see, and they know I'm passionate about that. I'm 12 and a half years deep, you know, in as an interpreter. But 15 years now since I took my first class at UNCG, and that's in North Carolina. Yeah, it's crazy how that happens. I don't even know what I was doing because, you know, I'm from New York. And so Yeah, that was an experience. Yes, but to all my girls who are watching me, because it's a beautiful thing about college, right? You can still have friends after you graduate. And I was, a little bit of we had something called Phi Sigma Pi, and that's an honors fraternity because I couldn't join the other groups. I had to join something where everyone was included, right? Don't
give me.
Yeah, so they don't like me because they're like, oh, she's too damn smart, like, and so that's a problem. People feel threatened by you. They feel threatened by you, and they're like, nah, we can't. She's gonna be a rebel. She's not gonna follow. She's not gonna follow the grain. So we can't have that. He has a very strong opinion about the frats. But I am in a military organization. They're not paying me, so I'm not gonna say that. But again, you feel me? Like no one gets any credit unless you are, not playing. But I will support, my Air Force, Navy, and Marine, and who else is out there? Who did I miss with? Army, yes, right? Army people, you know what I'm saying? So all my military family, because I'm also military. So I will shout y'all out. And but I promise you this. So yeah. So my sister, we have a group called Beauties in Boots. And so we have a DMV group, and I just love those ladies. Like seriously, you feel that love and that support, and it's like, we military. You know what I'm saying? Because only 1% of us in the world, right? Yeah. So when you think about that, you do the math. We are a unique group of people. Like seriously, because our experiences are just so crazy, and the outside world, they're not privy, and so we're not gonna talk about that right now. But
shout out to Bella. She just got back from a tour in I think Kuwait. Just got back.
Yeah, so shout out. What branch?
Army.
Okay, Army. Yeah. So I'm a little bit biased because I'm Air Force. So we shout you out. And then my husband, he was prior Army. But I will tell you this. This has been truly a blessing. And I want you to share, a piece of your art.
Gotcha.
And I want you to do the Orville way,
All right.
Your shirt, because I want people to support that too.
Yeah. So.
Not that
it was dirty.
The other shirt.
So that's why I was washing clothes and all that.
Yeah, because I'm like, look, I want my own brand. I want the team for supporting people. Real talk.
Definitely.
I like my own stuff. Yeah. Real that I think it's better. But so what is it? Just tell me what it says on the shirt.
So it's a haiku that I wrote that says, "They say cancer's bad, but I've seen it do some good. My fam is close now," and that's the God honest truth. That's what happened. It was like people that I hadn't seen in years. I keep in constant communication with. If you are Caribbean, WhatsApp is your best friend. You know what I mean? My WhatsApp is crazy. So that does my heart good. That while it took tragedy to bring us together, we are still together. And my message is, don't let tragedy be the reason you come together. Like, get together right now when things are good. But yeah, so can I share 2 poems?
Yeah,
I have like 2 poems.
It's your moment. But it's okay if you post the words, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
All right, good, because he can take care of that.
It might be on my phone.
Well, that's good. Great. I'm gonna make sure that you share them. We'll post them afterwards.
Okay.
Because I want my deaf audience. Because we have in the deaf community, they have ABC stories, right? And so ABC stories are just something that you're just not gonna interpret. Okay. And I feel like when it comes to music and even music, because unless I ask you what your song is, what your song is about. I don't know. Like, I could be signing something and it ain't got nothing. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You'd be like, whoa, what about signs right now?
How did you, like, who created that? So before I do any music, I gotta research. I research the person who wrote the song to see what their thoughts were about it. Like, it's a process. You know, you think like, no. But there are some songs that I know because, I've done them before. Or, you just had and then sometimes you share what it means to you. You see what I'm saying? So like some things you can, like even with your poetry, people are going to interpret it whatever way they're going to interpret it. But I like to give people the truth behind the message, like the Star Spangled that's the Star Spangled Banner, or not even that, Amazing Grace. And we learned about the history of that song, and people don't know that the person who wrote that, right? He himself was a slave owner, right? He owned some slaves, and so people are singing that song but not realizing they're oppressing themselves. So that's pretty deep. So I stopped singing that song. I'm like, oh no, I'm not a rich. I'm not a rich. No. So, but that had to happen because of education.
You just told me something. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Yes. It's real. Like, look, there's just so much stuff about music that has so much influence. And I'm not even just talking about Christian, Muslim, everything. There's a song, oh gosh, which one is it? Is it spelled, my gosh. And I didn't even know. When I heard my professor, Harrison, Dr. Harrison, she broke these songs down to us. And I'm like, really? I didn't know. Like, it's like, yeah, go to Howard, man. You learn some stuff, man. I left awoke. When I left, yeah, when I left Howard University, School of Divinity. I don't know what's happening on the other side of the campus. Yes, HU, yes, and you better know. But when I left that school, that class taught me so much about who I am as a Black woman. Where is my place in this society? How we can use media and the arts to just change the world. And so when I'm telling you about the videos, what the Holy Spirit revealed to me is that, hey, Pauline, you have an opportunity to not just touch the lives of just those people in your sphere of influence. You have the opportunity by using video. Video is the way, I'm telling you. Like all this, think about it. Okay, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, okay? But I'm gonna tell you, this Mevo right here, right? It connects now with YouTube, Periscope, it connects with Facebook, it connects with live stream, okay? So 4 different platforms. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Because people don't want to read anymore. They don't want to read, right? And so if you want to make some money, like real talk, you want to make some money, you better start making videos. Visual. People want to see, they want to connect, they want the relationship. Like no one is interested, because I can read your book, and I do. I read a lot of books, I even do reviews. So if you have a book, you want me to review it, pay me and I'll review it. But
I got you.
he said coming soon. Yeah, I have a publishing company and everything, and so I actually have 2 authors that I'm working with right now. And I say all of this because I'm a storyteller first, right? I love stories, and I believe in the power of stories. But I'm about the visual story. So if you can create a video, right, that tells a powerful, impacting story, it has no choice but to go viral. It doesn't have a choice. People want to know, like, not the stupid stuff that you see on Facebook, those stupid videos, like, really, did I just sit here and watch this thing? But the real stuff, like God, too, is for inspiration, and that's how my first video that I ever did, that I didn't even, when I shared my own story, I think over 150,000 people watched that video. That's how crazy it is, right? But I posted it with the intention of obedience, but I didn't know what would happen next. You see what I'm saying? And so what I saw was like, wow, okay, God, I get it. People are inspired. They're looking for hope. They're looking for words. They're looking for words. They're looking for words because they speak to our souls. So you guys have a platform where you can do that. And then because of your platform, you can create this change. They have a group actually called the Creative Activists. So you don't probably know about them, but there's a whole network out there. And these people, they have a Facebook group too. You can actually join. And they will help support if you have like a vision to create something dope that's like a documentary or anything. They'll help you pay for it. Yeah, and they will help you get the word out with your story. So They're not paying me for that, but I will share that because I support anyone who is trying to transform this now generation, and they need to stop talking about us millennials. So some of us, we do care about our environment. we do care about people.
Very strong feelings about that.
Yes, I don't like that word, but you know what it is what it is. We are millennials, and we are the future, and we are the answer. And everyone needs us. Like, I don't even know if you guys know this, but I'm going to connect you with a group. Are you from the island?
Millennials for fun?
Nah, this group is called CPAC. You ever heard of them? Mm-hmm. All right, so CPAC, I'm about to break something else for you. CPAC is Caribbean, yes. P.
Whoa.
Yeah, PAC. Yes. Nice. So CPAC is the Caribbean Political Association Committee, and they support people who are running for office who have Caribbean blood. Yes. So what they do is, and I got recruited because of Dr. Golda. I met her at our dean's, his stepping down. And she just approached me. She said, "I want you to be involved." And I thought she was playing. People they just try to speak all kind of things. And she's from Jamaica, and I'm just looking at her like, really? Oh, what is? What are we doing here? And so he said, "What's going on?" Yeah, and so she called me. We talked, and the next thing I know, just 2 days ago, I was on the phone with a girl, and we're planning an event, and it's in October. And they just they want me to obviously to share and to get the word out, but they need this now generation. They're looking for more people who have the Carib blood and who want to be included. I'm serious. Like this, and the people are all powerful people. Everybody got a PhD, Esquire, something behind their name. Like it started with 100 people who began that organization because they want us to be included in the conversation. You see what I'm saying? So the only way you can make change is if you get in the room, right? So your voice will allow you to enter the room because I told him about you. I was like, "Oh yeah, I know a guy who does poetry, so I'm hoping that you'll be able to come and to present." They're gonna have a steel band, and I'm like, if you want my now generation, you're gonna have to give me someone. Yeah, I'm with you, bro. No. So yeah, I said, my generation, we're really not interested in the steel band. And so, we like it, but that can't be the one thing. That's just not going to inspire me to want to come. No. So we need to. So Major Hype was here, right? And so I was able to interview him. He's
I met him before. He's super dope.
Yeah, he's a dope dude. And so he just kind of and I was thinking about him. I was like, well, if he can do church, then surely he can do political. But I was like, I'm gonna pray about that some more. So, but Major, enough respect to you, bro. Your work is phenomenal, and then you have just amazing platform. You have so much. I could see it. I'm like, this guy needs to be here. You know what I'm saying? Even Howard, you.
Oh man, I gotta talk to you all camera.
So we could talk about that later. But yeah, the School of Divinity, this new class that are now in charge. Woo! Yo, those guys are on it, and so I'm excited because they're gonna have some programs this coming year that are gonna allow obviously I'm keeping in touch because I'm like, look, we're gonna be taking over. We running this thing. So if anybody knows, the alumni association, right? I'm being involved. Yes, I'm gonna be coming back because I want to make sure that we do things. We need to be more visible. But you are, you have so much, and don't limit yourself. Don't, keep stretching. So I get it, the poetry circles. But I see you on a TED Talk.
Hey, we're going to speak this into existence. I've reached out to TED Talks. Holla at your boy, man. I got something to say.
So, and I'm going to tell you this. On December 31st, myself and another young woman, her name is known as Monique. Do you know who that is?
That sounds very familiar.
she's actually a living Jane Doe. Like, when I tell you this chick is a beast, like, she is amazing. I can't even go into everything that she does, but she is an author. She is all about, she helps find people that are missing, right? Because she herself is still missing. So she doesn't even know who she is. You see what I'm saying? Living Jane Doe. You see what I'm saying? Living. And so the two of us connected yesterday in Baltimore. I know. Can you imagine? Like, you have no idea who you are. She thinks, yeah, I think I was born around this time. It's crazy. Like, yes, all kinds. She's in every single like database. Yes, no one knows who she really is. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my mind
Like,
around
I'm trying to
it. My brain is
it's like, listen, my whole, like, I get the goosebumps. And so, yesterday, the two of us, we sat down, and before the end of the conversation, I'm like, yo, we're supposed to do something together. We knew that. And so, we came up with this concept called, I identify. So, what we're going to do is, we're going to bring our own, and our own stage of, how do you identify? It's going to give you a platform to share how you identify. So you are a poet, and then her reach is crazy. I thought my reach was crazy. Her reach is crazy. And so we're going to do this on December 31st and bring in the new year for who you are. Like, who are you? Like, people think that, okay, you reached out to TED Talk, right? And they never reached back yet. Not yet.
That's it.
But I'm going to tell you this. We are creators. You don't have to wait to have, you know what I'm saying? So we've created this I identify, and it's going to allow people to share how they identify. And you're gonna have a little 15 minutes to do your thing, you know, whatever it is you want to do. And so we're really excited about that, because now she's just working. We're trying to figure out now, okay, you know, where, location, everything. But we have like the blueprint of how that's going to happen. We did that, like, just like that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's why it helps to work and to do collaboration and not to just think that you're an island on yourself, because I did that. It don't really work. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But the moment you decide, like, okay, God, I'm ready, God will send people from everywhere and anywhere to just bless you. So this was intentional. I'm very intentional. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the two of you guys connecting today, again, was very intentional, because I see something very powerful that can happen. So, with that being said, I want you to now just share one time when you did not, well, no, you did. You shared that, that one time you did not succeed. You said that people throw bottles at you. What?
Oh yeah, that was in Hyattsville. That was at a show in Hyattsville. It was at a spot. It was like a birthday party celebration / showcase or something like that. And I don't even remember the poem I was spinning. And whoo, I said, "Whoa!" And the host was like, "Yo!" Like a fight broke out. It was bad. Boo, boo, get off, boo. I was like, "Dang, was that bad?" No. I thought I was done. And it was my birthday. Oh. Yeah, it was my birthday. So my cousin, I went out with my cousin, my sister, my brothers. Right after that, they were at the show. He was like, "Man, forget that. Whatever." And I was like, "But if this is the worst that can happen, all right." It wasn't that bad. I dodged it because I'm an athlete. You know what I mean? You hard pressed to catch me or something. Okay, you know, so that was that. That's that.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's serious.
Really?
Really?
In Maryland?
Maryland.
Well, I'm not really surprised, because Maryland is a little bit. You ever been to Baltimore?
Be more careful. I'll be
more careful. I am like death right now. I'm dying. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I call it.
He calls it be more careful.
Okay. My first experience in Baltimore wasn't good. Yeah, I've had better ones since then, but yeah, I still got I get a lot of love in Baltimore. Baltimore shows a lot of love, but you know, wherever you're not familiar with, you gotta kind of
be careful. Wow, I didn't realize that. Okay, so Monique, she lives in Baltimore, and she is like the dopest, and she's dope, and I believe that a lot of great things are going to just happen. You are off the chain. So, if we want to connect with you, like how? I mean,
So literally on everything, Orville the Poet, and THE, not DA. We're trying to teach kids how to spell. Orville the Poet, all one word on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Orville the Poet on Facebook. Am I leaving anything? OrvilleThePoet.com. You can check out the website. Also, I'm very proud to make this announcement. So I have a single out. It's on every music download site for streaming, download. It's on iTunes, it's on Tidal, it's on Spotify, it's on Amazon, all them jumps. So if you just type in Orville the Poet, the single is called Mama. And it's about my mom, inspired by my mom, but for everyone's mom, or that motherly figure in your life. Go check it out. I promise you it's dope. I put my heart and soul in it. I'm very, very proud of it. Yeah, so definitely go get that. Also, I have a documentary coming out, which will be September 12th. September 12th. Hopefully tickets will be on sale for that within. The Rangers had to tap into the power God gave them, and on stage is giving advice. And her last day, she said, "Baby, make sure you find a wife for the rest of my life. I vow to make her proud. On behalf of my mom and any mothers that may be out there in the crowd, wherever you at, you stand up now. Take your vow." That's Mama. Mama, dear Mama. So that's the first one, right? So the second one is, and I'm gonna go here with it. I was gonna do something else, but I'm gonna go here with it because I think a lot of times we tell the youth, especially in church, if you just pray and you listen to mommy and daddy, everything will be fine. Your life will be great. We gotta start really equipping them for the real world, bro. Like with that cookie cutter stuff isn't gonna cut it. You're gonna come out here because you're a sheep, and then they come out here to the wolves and they don't even know what to do. So I'm a big fan of hip hop. I'm a huge fan of hip hop. But I have a love and hate relationship with hip hop because the kids, hip hop just shows you oftentimes the final copy when the kids desperately need to see the rough draft, right? But if a lot of these dudes tell you how they got from here to here,
the process,
it's a lie because it's different than how you say you got there in the rap.
Except for Tupac.
Except, yeah, he was really, alright, so that's the whole, I can write a thesis on that. But, so you seen Baby Boy, the movie Baby Boy?
Yes.
Remember when Ving Rhames was talking to Tyrese about people with real paper notes about the guns and the butter? This poem's entitled Guns and Butter.
Wow.
In the hood, the youth are taught spend now because tomorrow isn't promised. And in the hood it isn't. But that goes for everyone, even in the suburbs. See, spending money like there is no tomorrow is what brings us as a people sorrow. No money for tuition, because intuition said, buy that brand new car. You your own boss, you alone regulate. Not knowing that as soon as you drive it off the lot, that car is going to depreciate by thousands. This same mentality is spoon-fed to thousands. And how you control confused adolescents? Give them thousands for rapping lies and move them out of public housing. And see, some rappers do come from poverty. But have you ever noticed what they speak about when they get that first big check? Cars, clothes, and jewelry. Why? Because we've been taught as a people that things will get you respect. When in actuality, your actions do. That's why kids today are dying for what they hear rappers lie about. Because kids today actually do. But see, half of these rappers are just actors, reading from scripts, practicing for hours in the studio until it actually sticks. Be careful who you pretend to be, my G. Because you may actually start to believe it. These young men are so far gone that they actually believe it. Half of them never sold drugs and never held a gun. And closest thing to that was some are super soaker in the sun. And some go hard as ever when all his friends around, but catch him by himself. All those gangster lines you heard him spitting were just something he saw written down. But see, the real tragedy here is that these young men don't feel comfortable being themselves. So they'll sell themselves to the highest bidder. If you got the cash, I could be a thugger / lost nigga. I could wear Women clothes with holes, shoot no clothes at all. I'll sip cold medicine mixed with soda with no cold at all. I'll spit cold, even though my flow ain't cold at all. I'll say the same stuff over and over like I'm all meds need Adderall and Tylenol. I'll pop them while I'm popping methamphetamine, cut with crack, cut with God knows what else to make it stronger. I mean, my bad. Popping Molly's. I've been to prison. Me and my dudes been in. It's a part of the grind. I'll make it seem cool to do time. Man, I'm out my mind. But I look fresh though. And forget actually being it. At least I look successful. Man, this lifestyle's stressful. I look related to success, but will never show any work ethic. I spend millions of dollars nightly at the clubs and won't regret it. My background in the neighborhood, I'll forget it. Move and distance myself far from trapping, but I'll still rap about it. Say I started from the bottom, but before I turned 17, I had my own car and accountant. I'm just counting. But y'all gonna buy it. We make this lifestyle look attractive. Y'all should try it. That's that piece, guns and butter.
Oh, this is awesome. Yo, that was so dope.
This was dope.
Yo, this was freaking, you know what? That last piece is like everything.
One of my favorite pieces.
That is so dope. Like one of the things, okay, so y'all missed the whole point of the last poem that he gave was about how young people, they are living out a fallacy. So basically, when you look at the world and you see these, what they think is real, I'll call it lie. Anything reality, reality TV,
yes.
Right? They think that it's true.
Oh.
They think that that's how people behave. They think that that's how they gotta live with the hair down to their butt crack. You know what I'm saying? And they think that that's the, you know what I'm saying, the attitude, but not realizing that your attitude determines your behavior. So if you begin to act like, in your mind, if you begin to think that that's how it is, then that's what you're gonna do.
That's what you're gonna portray.
That's it. So I appreciate that poem because that's the part where, even I have two boys. I have, a 5-year-old and a 12-year-old. And thankfully, they have me. They have their mom, right? He said, what about me? Yeah, they got daddy too. But it's all about mom. Right? It's all about mom, right? But just to give that awakeness, and because I have, I guess you could say the best of both worlds, where I know about the hood life and I know about the bougie life, right? Mm-hmm. So I can understand, I can connect with both. And I laugh because when I had that class, my name was always persevering Pauline, right? But before I left the class, those guys, they gave me a new name. And they call me now. They're like, oh, no, you can't use that anymore. I'm like, why? They're like, no, we're gonna call you Power Pauline. So when someone gives you a new name, right, to reflect the character that they see in you, like, you understand how powerful that is? Like, I was honored, I was humbled, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like what? But one of the guys, his name is Bruce, which, I don't know what's gonna happen with him, but he is actually, right now, this is the one time when he feels like, I'm not supposed to be here. And so I spent a lot of time, more time ministering to him because he just had this thing like, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here. Like, this is the one time when I was not doing anything wrong, but because of my past, I'm here. Right?
Overstand.
And so he is, DC jail is really temporary, but he actually has a felony. Okay, so they keep him there, and then they ship him off. And so it was really sad, and I was, my heart was for him, but I said to him, I believe that we are exactly where we're supposed to be. And he's a leader, like real talk. Like, and I was like, no, I really feel like you have a lot of influence on these younger men, right? And they need your words. You know, and brother, smart as heck. He said, yeah, I got a record company, a music company and everything outside. I'm just like, I hear you, but I know a lot of people who entered into the system and they've come out stronger, right? Mm-hmm. But if all you keep doing every single day is complaining about you're not supposed to be there, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't use your time to focus on, hey, while I'm here, let me go ahead and create something. Let me go ahead and give someone a word. Let me go ahead and, so I always say, like, just take advantage of those opportunities, because I have been in those places that you talked about. Like, I remember one time, for 3 months, I was out of the home. I was at a runaway home. I didn't run away. My father just didn't want us to crazy Jamaican. He didn't want us to stay with someone who knew us. He decided to allow the people to send us to that place, right? And all of the kids there were like, yo, some of them were suicidal, you know, trying to kill themselves. You have, I saw so much at the age of 15, like even before then I saw a lot from living in Brooklyn. But during that time, you know, it's like, dang, these kids are kids like me. Like, they're living with some real hurt. You know what I'm saying? And thankfully that was not my story. But it made me realize, like, shoot, there's some, you know, there is so much inside of us that if we don't get it out for those people who are there, like, you can miss that opportunity. So I'm gonna close with this because I feel it very, very important to say that you continue to speak life, you know, speak healing for this now, I say this next generation. No, this now generation, because we are hurting. Like, we don't have enough leaders. We don't have enough people who are willing to just, you know, to stop being the bystander. They would rather just stand and watch than just jump in. You see what I'm saying? And I became the person I am today because of the bullying, right? The people who bully, right? And I hate bullies. So, because I was bullied as a kid, you know, people talk about my height, talk about my feet, talk about, you know, I didn't know I was cute, that low self-esteem, you know what I'm saying? But when I realized, you know, you get older, right, you're like, oh shoot, they were just hating on me, you know what I'm saying? People, I don't want to follow them. You know, the ones who are like, hey, what's up? Like, how you doing?
How you gonna make it up?
I really want me to step
When your next show?
Like, yo, what's up? Like,
what? Because you're stuck in lockers, cuz.
Really? That was you? Oh, poor thing. He's still healing right now. Did you write about it?
Nah. For every poem you hear me share, there's like 50 that you'll never hear. That's just for me.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. You should write a poem. You just came to my spirit, so I'm going to give it to you. You should write a poem just for the bully. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't gotta be your truth, you know what I mean? But write a poem just for the bully.
The bullies hurt too.
The bullies hurt. Give me that, girl. Give me that.
What's another bully?
Right. So,
Bullies need to find a life.
bullies need to find a life.
Find a life, bullies.
I need to find a life. I'm finished. I'm done. No, seriously though. That would be
that's dope. That's an awesome perspective. I don't think I've ever heard a poem like that.
Me neither. So that's what I'm saying. That's for you. So I can give that to you. Dropping that.
I'm gonna take that challenge after the project comes out. Nah, because I'm super locked in on this project.
Okay. Well, I mean, I respect that. Do you know Enoch, the prophet?
I do.
You know him? That dude's dope. So he has another project coming out too. He does some other some other stuff, but I respect that man's grind because he said the same thing. He's like, yo, I'm doing this project. So I don't respect your grind.
Yeah.
You finish your...
And you heard when it's coming out.
You heard, yeah, September.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
September 23rd. Very.
He's so excited he can't even control it. Can you see it? He's not even moving.
I'll get the rock.
He gets the rock like, yeah, I'm excited. But I'll be like, you understand.
Like everything you were talking about, like as far as what I went through with my mom, you know, how I felt when I first found out, to what we went through, like through it, to her passing, to step up to now, relationships. It's called the soul of a man, because we know the soul of a man is vast. Soul of a man is determined, it's passionate, it's angry, it's sad, it's melancholic, it's driven. So I'm gonna really be touching on all of these things in the project, and then the book is gonna kind of go a little deeper. Some other poems that, you know, man, that's not on the project. So I'm super excited about it. I feel like you're gonna hear them be like, is this over?
Like, really, is that him? Like, seriously, I'm already like, I don't follow a lot of people on I really don't. Like, I follow people who will follow me back. I realize the hustle in the whole IG thing.
You got it. You got it.
Son. People will follow you and then try to drop you, but they have this new app, right? And my husband got me hip to it. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I see you. Okay, boom. And then all of a sudden, I think when I looked yesterday, it said $8.99. Today is, and those same people were the ones who added me yesterday, right? And then today it was $8.91, and I'm like, well, those are the same people. I guess they thought that I don't have any interest in what you do. So if I look and I don't see there's anything I could possibly do with that, why am I following you? I can't.
I need to do a purge myself. I just be like, fine.
Right? No, because you gotta pay attention.
Because I went to a page.
Like, it's energy.
I was on my timeline like, what?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Bro,
Listen.
I didn't want to see it.
Really, exactly. And so I had to really be mindful. Like, Pauline, don't. You just can't just follow anyone. Seriously, I've had to block people. I'm like, are you serious? Yeah. So I'm with that. But again, this was awesome. This was everything, like I miss poetry Thursdays, Too Deep. That's one of my favorites. No, through poetry, yeah.
She's hilarious.
She's
my coworker.
She's hilarious. She's my coworker.
Dope to say.
Are you serious? That's the one?
We're hosts.
At the I know Busboy she is.
We're all hosts. She's at the Hyattsville location.
Yeah, the second Thursday. I would always go to support her because she likes sign language. And so I'm gonna tell y'all a real quick story because I have to share this. So there was one day, and I was trying to decide if I was gonna go up on stage. Like my girl was like, "Nah, go ahead." And I said, "I'm not going up there." I said, "The only way that I would ever get up there is if God Himself will call me." Don't ever challenge the Holy Spirit. Don't challenge God or anything. And so, I was sitting there, and no lie, all of a sudden, Too Deep decides that she's going to start signing to the crowd. And I'm the only one in the place that understood what she said. And she's like, "Come up here." I was like, "Get the hell out of here." So after that, I was like, "This is crazy." Yeah. And so she was like, "Oh, come on, let's do the African interpreter thing." Just be throwing your hands up. And
So y'all do that, okay.
No, we don't do that. But I understood what she was trying to do. She's trying to be, because she's a comedian.
Yeah.
She's a comedian
She
slash poet who cusses a lot. But after that, she do because she's like, "I'm let y'all know," and she will tell you real quick if you talking and you're being rude, she will let you know. Karate chop. Yeah. So don't be one of those if you ever decide to go and to visit. But yeah, so that was how that was my first time ever on the stage because of that moment. So because of that courage, because it took me a while, it took me a long time to finally go and read one of my poems, and after that I never did it again. And after it was over, people come up to you like, "Hey, that was really good, keep writing." I'm like, "Nah, bro, this is not my,
this ain't my ministry.
This is not my ministry.
It's not my season.
It's not my time." And you know what he said? Not my season. Yes. And so I said, "No, it's too much. It's too much pressure. It's a lot of anxiety. I don't even know. It's too much. It's a lot of anxiety. And even with this, it took me. And he'll tell you, it took me a long time. I still get nervous. I get rude. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I gotta get in front of the camera because I hate the camera." But then when you get up here, it's natural.
That's when my nervousness goes.
Oh God, his legs. You can't see his legs. Well, that's going to change when I have my own studio, for real studio. It's gonna change. And so we'll invite you to come back. We'll invite you to come back. And he said, no. We're gonna invite you. He said only the upper body, please, nothing else. No. And so we're going to invite you to come back, and to share your project and just to get the announcement and all of that. But if you want some ad time, some space, you got to pay for it. But we're more than willing. We're happy to do that, right? But I'm just saying. And then just for the day of, no, but seriously, for the day of, I would do that just because, just to say, "Hey, look, check in, see how you doing." You know what I mean? And let people know that, hey, that's the place to be.
I appreciate it.
And that's pretty much it. But we love y'all, and if no one has told you today that you are loved, like this. There you go. You are loved. Okay? If no one has told you that you are loved, know that God loves you.
You gotta call for you.
God loves you, right?
So this means love.
I love you, and even Orville, the poet,
I'm learning.
loves you too.
Don't on me. Don't.
All right. Peace out, fam.
Peace out.
Peace. That was dope.
We gotta strive now to make God smile, cause we were born to be exceptional. No lesser than born to be exceptional, to make a better plan.